Hey everyone, welcome back to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. This week we are all about what's big in marching band design in 2025. We'll also find out what made Grantis.
But you can still do drop spins on the 45. You can still do drop spins maybe on a prop. You can do drop spins with a broom if you have a witch show.
And why Emily said...
So apparently they were waiting on a very specific shade of blue to make their uniforms.
All this and more in this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go. Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts. Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Hey everyone, it's Jackie. We have a great episode lined up this week. We're going to be talking all about fall marching band designs, what we have been seeing, what we're looking forward to for the rest of the season, and we're going to hop over to see who's on the sidelines this week. But before we do that, make sure you go and subscribe on your favorite listening app, write us a review, share this episode with a friend, and of course, if you have a question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM us on our social media at On a Water Break, and maybe you could be on the show. Go over to our link in bio, click on the show application, and come be a guest. It's a super fun time. So, who is on the sidelines this week? I want to start off because I don't know if we've actually been on an episode together yet. Grantis, hi.
Hello. I know. I don't think we have actually.
No, we chat all the time in the chat, and then here we are. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Great. I'm excited to be here. I've been kind of relegated to the lives. It's another reason I haven't seen a whole lot of everybody lately.
And I haven't been on for a little while, so I apologize, but I'm really happy to get right back into it.
You haven't been on because
I don't know if you remember
things, though, right? Though, Emily, how are you? Of course, I remember you.
Actually, I was talking to Grantis. I was telling him, I don't know if you remember me at all, but we were involved in like the precursor to On a Water Break when we used to do the marching drill down stuff during the COVID pandemic.
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely the precursor to this. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the warm-up round.
Mm-hmm. And then here on the real deal.
Oh, and I was like, Emily, how could you think I had forgotten about you? Goodness gracious. But yeah,
I never forget about you, Jackie.
It's been around. It's been a while since the marching drill down, man. And of course, Trish, hi.
Hi, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to see you guys. And I know it's kind of late for the East Coasters. It's a little bit late for me, but you know, it happens. Also, we have a guest host joining us on the sidelines this week. Liam Reynolds. We found him on TikTok. He was swinging his cymbals around like a maniac, I might add, but in a controlled, maniacal way. So, Liam, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Well, I don't know if you've heard this show before, but we're going to do a little tradition here that we do for all of our new guests, and we're going to do a 32 count life story. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to have a metronome. The metronome is going to give you 8 beats. And then you're going to start and you're just going to tell us your entire life story so that we know everything about you from the moment of your birth until now. And you have 32 counts to do it. So no pressure.
I'll do my best.
Okay, so we're having some technical difficulties where Liam can't hear our met. So, Grantis, would you do the honors of conducting him in his 32 count life story?
For sure.
All right, whenever you're ready.
All right. My name is Liam. I am a percussionist and a cymbal player from Plainfield, Illinois. I marched since 2021, spending 3 years with Plainfield Central High School and 3 years with our combined group, 202 Indoor Percussion. I also marched at Guardians in 2022, and I am excited to try out for world-class groups this upcoming WGI and DCI season.
So you marched Guardians,
Yes.
and you're wanting to try out for world class. Where are you wanting to try out?
Currently, for the WGI circuit, I'm looking at Cap City as a group, and for drum corps, I'm looking towards either Mass and Scouts or Crossmen.
Yay, go Scouts or Crossmen.
Grantis, did you march Scouts?
I'm very excited for both auditions.
Yes, I did, and Scouts is a really nice place to go march, so hopefully you find your home, do all your research, but yeah, go to the place that's best for you.
Yeah, fortunately, these different groups have a lot of connections that I know who've gone there because I'm from the Midwest. So I am very hopeful and excited for this upcoming audition sequence, the audition season.
So what made you want to do like TikTok videos with your cymbals?
So I've been doing TikTok since I started with my cymbals. My main first goal was to document my time playing cymbals and my journey as I got better and better. It turned from just becoming a part of the cymbal community, being an advocate for cymbal lines and making sure that they have a place in marching band, because we see more and more often in the modern time of marching that cymbal lines are getting cut or discounted or discredited. So I am allowed to express myself through these visuals, and I am excited to talk more about them over the course of this podcast.
I have a quick question, Liam. So, practice cymbals? Is there such a thing?
Yes. So, something I found around halfway through my marching career is that you can take cymbals that don't have triggers, that are for electronic kits that are made out of plastic, and what you can do is you can get two of them and you can use those as practice cymbals, so you can go through the motions of some of these higher up groups without being as afraid to drop or make noise around your family when it's late at night and you want to practice.
And it probably would help with some injury prevention while you're practicing as well, because cymbals can cut you and they do hurt.
Yes.
I know, because fun fact, I marched cymbals in Scouts, so haha.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That is awesome. Yes, I am very, it's one of my most asked questions. It's asked enough to the point where I have a pinned video on my TikTok all about those practice cymbals, because I tend to make videos of the early stages of a sequence that I'm writing, or during a period when I didn't have access to cymbals whatsoever. I would make cymbal videos with these practice cymbals, and it allowed me to cause a stir and be able to show people that there's a way to practice that is a bit more ethical, I guess, a bit more easy access than going out and buying cymbals or having to practice during certain hours in certain areas of your life.
That's a fantastic idea, yeah.
And it makes sense. There's so many people who don't even know that there's practice drums out there, like practice pads for your drums, people who are outside the band world. I'm sure the practice cymbals just blow their mind.
Yeah.
Well, now I gotta ask.
Mm-hmm.
What are the best cymbal lines out there, or other people should know about, since you are very prolific in the cymbal world?
So it's a really interesting topic, because I like to break cymbals into three different styles. There is HBCU, historically black college universities, which have their own sort of carving and swaying cymbal style. Then there are East Coast cymbals, which is a lot of the new innovative stuff with juggles and with throws and different tricks that they're doing. And then West Coast, which is kind of a bit backwards, because you would think that West Coast would be the more innovative and that East Coast would be traditional. But West Coast is a lot of traditional, staying within the strap and doing big motions that you've seen for decades. So in the West Coast world, as far as WGI goes, big names that come to mind are Broken City and RCC. And in the East Coast realm, we have groups that are like George Mason University, Rhythm X, Cap City, which is one of the reasons why I'm trying to go for them. But I personally am an East Coast cymbal player. When people come up to me and recommend, oh, you should do Santa Clara Vanguard, or you should do pulse percussion. I just simply am like, I'm sorry, I'm not. It's a style that I respect, and I love all different types of cymbals, but it is a style that I'm unfamiliar with personally.
East Coast, West Coast.
Trish, I'm sure that's not how that saying goes, but carry
No,
on.
yes, it is. It's all good.
Yeah, I
It's
think
all
you forgot to
good.
put a W on there. So
No, I didn't.
Weast?
No, not at
Weast
all.
Coast? What is that?
Eastern. I love
Wait,
Western
what?
aesthetic.
Yeah,
Am I the only East Coast person in here? What's going on? But anyway, we wanted to ask a little bit about the choreo for Cymbal Lines. Who designs that? I mean, is somebody brought in specifically just to do that, or is it a musician type person who just gets creative?
There's a lot that you can do with cymbals. I wish I had brought my cymbals down here in order to show, but there's so many different things that you can do with cymbals, whether it's the two different faces of it, the knot that you can use, the strap, the pad. There's so many different ways that you can experiment with cymbals. And through that experimentation and through people doing that in cymbal lines and collaborating with their creativity, is how a lot of the visuals have came to be. And there's still new stuff that people are working with, like transferring cymbals between different hands and doing multiple rotations on the different things that they are performing. So it's really a collaborative effort in cymbals as far as what they are doing and how they are improving or making different things happen.
So if I wanted to like go apply for a job as a cymbal choreographer, that's probably not a thing, right?
Yeah, it's more having a cymbal tech, but usually either the techs are providing these cymbal visuals and saying, hey, we're going to teach this to a line, or the line comes up with visuals of their own. But usually, as far as like the choreography that I've done, it's either me trying to be expressive and show what cymbals can do and pushing myself, or it's for stuff like auditions, because at least in East Coast cymbals, traditionally you would write your own audition solo to show what you can do and what type of style you can bring to the group that you are auditioning for.
I think that might be Trish's calling. We need like a color guard cymbal choreography crossover.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, well, we want to take this time to preview some of the amazing episodes that are live on our all of our channels right now. There's some bonus content going on too. September 19th, we had the Pride of the Southland Explained episode. So Dr. Michael Stewart from UT, that's University of Tennessee, right? And his students, Madeline Bowman and Austin Kerr, yeah, they had a lot of really, really cool stuff to talk about: the Black Suits leadership, circle drill, audition culture, their famous Rocky Top Woo. If you've not heard of those things, which I haven't, I'm going to have to go back and listen to that episode myself to get some of that. September 18th had the WGI Circuit Symposium Roundtable, which, Grantis, you were all about that one, right?
I love that one. I get very nerdy. We're all band kids, so we'll get nerdy about something. But I get very nerdy about like circuit discussions because I'm heavily involved or have been heavily involved in circuits in my area. But just to hear, what's going on in other parts of the country and how they all came together and what WGI says and all the talk about that. So if you're interested in what circuits, maybe you're a judge, maybe you're a contest coordinator, or even an instructor that wants to know about these things, that's a really good episode that you should listening to.
Or if you're just a fan
Lauren
of Ricardo,
Burns from our main circuit
Ricardo
right
was
here.
the
Yes, and Lauren Burns from our main circuit, again, East Coast, West Coast, was on that chat. And it was really great. Really, really great. You guys did an awesome job.
And then back on September 5th, we talked about Finley. He's a 4-year-old who is the Ohio State University's biggest fan. He loves marching band so much. We talked to his mom. He was in the running for the Toddler of the Year award, and I feel like we need to give an update on that. I think he got 6th place, which was crazy because For people who don't know, it's like he was in first for a really, really, really long time. But the whole point of the program is that it's a fundraiser for the Toys for Tots program. And right there at the semifinals, he went from like first, and then like we woke up the next morning and he was in like third one day. We were like, what? No. And then everybody's voting and voting. And then he got back to first, and then he ended up getting knocked back down to sixth, but they broke some serious records. They even raised $3,000 in one day. Like his voting alone raised $3,000 in one day. So it was amazing. And of course, Finley is just a sweet kid, and I love seeing all of this stuff that his parents post. He absolutely loves marching band, and he's the same age as my little boy, so it's like they could be besties. And we also talked to author Jace Peoples, who wrote the young adult novel Twirl. We've talked to him a couple times now, and now that that novel is out, whew, it's making some waves. I tell you what.
It's awesome. I was on the episode. We were on the episode when he introduced the book, and ever since that, the book was so great. We can all relate to it, and anybody who's taught kids, in this activity can totally relate to it. And he was so excited, and it's just blown up since then, and I'm so super happy for him.
Me too. I absolutely love that he's seen so much success with it because, yeah, it's, I don't know. And I just love that it's about color guard. Well, for those of you who haven't read it yet, make sure you go get your copy, and we'll do that right now while we're on a commercial break. So we'll see you back in just a minute.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
All right, everybody, get off the field. It's time for our water break. I sent the assistant band director to go see if he can get the lights turned on for us so we can keep rehearsing. Why don't we see what's happening in the news this week? I am going to kick it off because I have the results from the BOA Austin Regional, which happened on September 20th. Of course, Bands of America kicked off with that first regional in Texas. Vandegrift High School took first place. Their score was 83.75. I would love that for a first score of the season, personally.
Literally, I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that in my head. Like, how are you getting to 83 at the first show?
Uh-huh. You're amazing, and you're from Texas.
That part.
Cedar Park High School and Vista Ridge High School were also in the top 3, but Vandegrift swept the music, visual, and GE captions. So it is definitely sounding like a Vandegrift kind of year. So we'll see. I mean, it's only the first show. Trish, what do you got for us today?
Well, a story that's near and dear to my heart. I have a very good friend who's up there in the Spartans organization. Shout out to Andy. I actually just spoke to him on the phone before we did this episode. So it's official. The Spartans have been approved to compete in world class for 2026. When I texted my friend to say congratulations, he said, well, and I told him what we were going to announce. And he said, well, that's not the entire story. Yes, they are going to be world class for 2026, but this weekend, I believe it's Friday, they are having a vote to see if they are like a full member with voting rights and the contest fees and all that stuff. So they're almost they're there, but there's still a little bit more to happen this weekend. So anyway, wow, what a successful season for them. I mean, it was a little funny, interesting side story. And this is absolutely no disrespect to the Crossmen whatsoever. I know you were saying before you're going to audition for a Crossman, Liam. It's awesome, but
she's spilling tea.
My friend didn't stay for semis, and he flew back into New Jersey, into Newark, and he was driving home, and I was watching semis on Flow, and I called him, I think after the Spartans, I don't know, I called him, he was on the road, and I called him, I was like, are you okay? Whatever, because he had to drive back to New Hampshire from Newark. And I was actually on the phone with him when it was announced that they beat the Crossmen. And I was looking at the scores coming up on Flow, and I was like, oh my God, Andy, you got them. So that's how he found out. I mean, and not that, again, it's no tea, no shade, but for a core coming up from open class to beat somebody who's been so successful in world class for so many generations, it was just huge for them. And it really sets them up well going into 2026. So welcome, Spartans, to the world class for 2026. Get your tickets early.
That's going to be amazing. Spartans was like winning Division 2 back when it wasn't open class. It was like Div 2 and 3 whenever I was marching. It's been a long time coming. It's been the reason why they've held back a lot is because the schools here up in East Coast, West Coast, like our schools don't end until like mid-June. So they were kind of in this gray area of, obviously when they were in open class, they had slightly, although people age out of open class, a majority of the core was slightly younger than a lot of your world-class competitors. And they were kind of playing with that whole, we can't move in as early because we have a lot of high school kids. And I know in different parts of the country, high school ends in May. Here up in the Northeast, it's like June, middle of June. So that kind of was, the fact why they kind of stayed in open as long as they did. They were like, well, we really can't move in as early as a lot of other cores, but now it's just, they're just going to go for it. And, and obviously they've been really super successful. So they had a good year last year. So I'm really excited for them. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. Me too. Oh, that's going to be so good for the Spartans.
Mm-hmm.
Liam, you've got some more DCI news for us too.
Yes, I do. Troopers announced their 2026 production, which is untraditional, but at this rate, it's a tradition for Troopers. From Casper, Wyoming, they released their show titled Into the Darkness, and it will be the finale of their cinematic universe arc that they've been going through. And I remember when they did this the first time around, when they were announcing their show right after they got off the field. And that was an insane moment, at least in my eyes, when I was watching the finals. And I think it's a really interesting strategic play for Troopers to be announcing the show right after they get off the field, because Troopers is so fresh in people's minds when they have just performed in finals and they're doing great in finals. And the fact that they're getting off the field and then their new show is being announced. Our favorite Cowboys are just going at it, and they are bringing in new members from this publicity of announcing it so early.
So Does anybody want to explain what this Troopers Cinematic Universe arc is? Because they planned this like way in advance, multiple seasons.
So
I don't know, but I still love that sun.
Yeah. To
The
my knowledge,
the sun prop.
Same.
I'm just hoping, and I don't know how you guys feel, that I've said this a million times on the podcast, that they're not going too far from who they are, because I think we all love who they are. I know in talking to people, it's the end of the trooper character. That was the whole finale of the show last year. But I just hope they're not, I've said this a million times, I just hope they're not going too far from their past. It's everything evolves. They have to get with the times. I get it, but we still we still love a good sunburst now and again. We all love that. Crowd loves that.
I'm sure they can find a way though to keep their own personal identity while still
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for them.
Becoming more modern too. I love the Troopers.
Yeah.
I'm totally here for the Troopers cinematic universe. I don't know about you. Have any of you played this is random, but for some reason I was thinking, this sounds like something out of the series from Red Dead Redemption.
Yes! No, my husband played
thank
that.
you. I'm just this is so random, but I drew a character for the Troopers and I looked at it for a couple of seconds. I just made a Red Dead Redemption character, but am I wrong though? Is that...
That sounds about right.
We're all nerds here.
That's right.
Well, Emily, do you want to nerd out about the Ohio State University new uniforms?
Oh, yeah. So now for something a little bit different, into the collegiate universe. Ohio State University, I would imagine everyone knows what that is. If it's not, I think you need to take a vacation on Wikipedia and catch yourself up on that. But for the first time since 2006, Ohio State University has had their uniforms updated. The look remains the same, that classic Ohio State style, but they upgraded the fabric to be more comfortable, durable, and flexible. And apparently they were supposed to debut a lot earlier than they were supposed to, and apparently that was caused by some weird thing with DAC wool. So apparently, according to in military history, there's a very, very specific shade of blue. It's called midnight blue. It's almost like I call it it's like a blue black-ish thing. Like if you're to the naked eye, it looks black. So apparently they were waiting on a very specific shade of blue to make their uniforms. And I was just like, yeah, that sounds like, a band thing. You got to get your oddly specific colors in. And
but were the old uniforms midnight blue or were they black? Is this a change or?
I'm not an expert on Ohio State bandology, but I'm pretty sure the color has stayed consistent as that midnight blue. But don't quote me on that.
I was all kinds of confused watching the first game. I was like, I thought they got new uniforms, and now I know the backstory that they weren't ready at that point.
Yeah. Oh, and I just got confirmed. Yes, they have been stayed as blue. I thought they were black for the longest time. Maybe I need to get my eyes checked.
But... No, well, then sign me up too, because I thought it was black also.
Midnight blue, somebody is angrily typing to me in the chat. Yes, we've established that is a very specific blue, often used by the military.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that those uniforms are as old as me. It's a long-standing tradition over here at Ohio State. But as of 2006, maybe I was like, wait a minute, it's been that long since a uniform change?
Yeah, uniforms are expensive, and tradition is tradition.
Well, and they're not changing the style so much either as just the fabric. And I think, this move toward more comfortable marching uniform fabrics, I feel like has been a really, really positive one. Regardless of what people say and, the arguments going on about whether the uniforms should be more traditional or more stylized, fit the show or whatever, I really, really like that it's more comfortable for the members, especially when you're in the summer, or you're in the heat, the hot part of the fall, and you need your skin to breathe. It's really important. I appreciate that designers are finally kind of going that direction. Grantis, tell us what's going on over at Carolina Crown now.
Alrighty. So Carolina Crown has added 2 big names to their 2026 design team. This is going to be Keith Potter as artistic director and Rosie Miller Queen, yay, go Rosie, as visual design advisor.
Woo-hoo!
Signaling fresh design innovation across DCI. Other major announcements also include Genesis naming a new educational leadership team, the Raiders hiring a brass caption head, and the Santa Clara Vanguard releasing multiple 2026 audition dates. The Blue Knights will host a November 16th camp in Dallas. And Impulse has a one-day audition set for January 3rd in Cerritos, California. And this just in, West Coast is the best coast. That makes total sense. Yes, and historically as well, West Coast is the best coast. Thank you so much. That's what I've got so far.
And I'm just chilling out over here in the Midwest, like, what ifs.
You mean the Midwest? That's not even close to the West.
But I just wanted to kind of segue into the next segment, our big discussion for today. Out of all these design teams and all these things happening in drum corps land and also WGI land and, now fall season, since we're in the midst of fall season, what have you all kind of seen for design trends that are happening right now, especially this year in 2025?
Judge blockers. Judge blockers are back.
What are judge
Those
blockers?
panels,
Yeah.
the low panels across the front that hide the equipment changes, those are back. As a matter of fact, there's one band that, I have a main group, but I have this other group that I've been helping out on Thursday nights because some of the guard kids march in my independent program. I was like, we were setting up, and I'm only there on Thursday nights, so I don't see it all. But they were at my other marching band's home show on Saturday, and it was like, wait a minute, we have judge blockers? All of a sudden, these judge blockers came out, and they're actually really, really beautiful. We're doing Hamilton, and they're all like parts of the Constitution and We the People. They're actually very pretty. But I've more than one band. Judge blockers are back and better than ever.
It's also funny that you called them judge blockers, because they do. If you're a downstairs judge and you're on the track and you can't see, if you're like a visual IA, kind of judge, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, it is kind of a judge blocker. Yeah,
That's what we call them on the East
front
Coast.
drops when I was in school.
See.
Because you have
That's
back drops and you have front drops.
That does make sense.
I did see a lot of those this weekend
panels, too. You just got to be careful. You can't. They're in style, but be aware that how your students are transitioning, for those front blockers, because that helps, kind of hide the transition or hide the equipment, but also you don't want to broadcast that you're going to there.
I know. Slippery slope.
That's actually one of the things that I noticed. I had my first time back judging in 2 years this weekend. And that was something I noticed was we kind of forgot how to do a smooth and seamless transition. Not everyone, but there was a lot of just the entire color guard clears the field, picks up a new piece of equipment. The entire color guard comes back. Then they spin this. Then the entire color guard goes away. They put the equipment down, pick up another piece, and then they all come back. And I was like, okay, we need to go back to transitions 101 here. So that is not a trend. We're not going to make that a thing. That's going to go away. The other thing was there's just this use of colors. I want to save this one for my What Are We Doing, actually. But there's been an interesting use of colors that I will comment on later.
Kind of going back to what you were saying before, Jackie, about the uniforms, I've noticed that it kind of always happens, kind of like the trickle down. DCI does this, so we're going to do it too, and it may not always be appropriate for costuming. I do agree with you 100%, Jackie. Like, get uniforms that are comfortable to move in, that are not going to cause you heat stroke. Like we have this, type of lycra or stretch polyester material. But also that might not be the best for your students and your marching band, because it may not look good just because it's the trend. Like if your show is about, I don't know, let's say murder mystery and it's Clue and everyone's has different character uniforms, you don't have to go out of your way to get like a whole, custom made like printed out uniform if it would have been cheaper and more economical and like easier and faster if you would have just ordered those individual uniforms or pieces online, maybe through Amazon, or gone to the thrift store. Because I think this is the trend that I see, is that everyone thinks I have to order out of the catalog, and sometimes you don't. Maybe you have a small merchant band or something else like that, but we're always like, let's go do the 3D printed thing. Let's do not 3D printed. Let's do the printed fabric thing because everybody else is doing it. You don't necessarily have to do that.
As a budding designer, I have a love-hate relationship with the 3D printed stuff. On one hand, it's awesome. It's great. But sometimes, like, I'm the kind of artist that likes to be a less is more type of person, because it's like, from 30 yards away, are you really going to see all of those microscopic patterns on someone's skirt? Probably not, right? So it's kind of like, you have to, why am I getting buzzed? That's the truth.
There we go. I think it was also when sorry, we're saying the wrong thing, the digitally printed fabric. When the digitally printed flags came out, people try to put like all these weird stuff on that, and then now we're kind of in that same era with the
terrible when they were spun.
They look so bad. So we're kind of in that same era of putting too much on a uniform, and you maybe could have put like, if you're going to have chains, like small chains, maybe actually put a real chain would have actually been more effective because it actually sparkled. But anyways, but that's one of those.
You understand me. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. What else have we seen kind of this season or even from this past year that's kind of been a design trend?
So, Liam, as you're coming from the performer aspect of it, what have you seen in the trends, and what's your perspective on the trends of the last few years leading into this year, and how have things changed from your point of view?
So I have only known post-COVID marching band. That's the only, I've been here since 2021. I would have marched 2020 if COVID didn't happen. So, and I've spent the past year and a half off of marching band because I graduated and I haven't been in any ensembles. So it's been really hard for this segment to know what trends are happening outside of just my little corner as an alumni. But I've been seeing more and more that people are using props that are like handheld props, and then they're using less on the field props, is what I've at least been seeing. Like if you have a moon show, you'll have all these like different like miniature props that the guard is throwing around, and you won't really have as much landscape type props. But that's just what I've seen personally. I've also seen that there's a lot of things in DCI that have changed post-COVID that have been slowly leaking into high school setting. That's my performer's perspective.
Yeah, and it makes sense that you're a Cymbal person. You've noticed things in people's hands. Like, I don't know, maybe you've seen this past winter, I think, or somebody had like red boxes and they were using them in their show. And then, of course, I know high school is probably going to end up using those too. But I think we used to get really prop heavy, like big props, and we're going to be on the props. And like Mandarins had that big stage in the round circle prop a few years ago. And then maybe the band directors kind of thought like, this isn't really practical for our school because then you have to transport it. So what other type of props we could use? But I'm definitely seeing that. Yeah, there's still some things on the field that people can use if they have the budget or, the parents to do that. But then, what other handheld things can be incorporated on that field stage that can still be seen?
Well, it is time for your Peak Group Travel Tip of the Week, brought to you by our sponsors at Peak Group Travel, helping you navigate your next adventure, whether it's across the country or just to your next competition.
Hi, everyone. It's time for your Travel Tip of the Week with me. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel. If you're doing a special performance on your next tour, make sure you contact the venue to be sure of everything that's included. Things like electricity, chairs, stands, lighting, and maybe even large percussion instruments might not be included. So make sure you check before you leave in case you need to bring anything on your own. Don't forget to like and follow Peak Group Travel on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And be sure to email info@peakgrouptravel.com when you're ready to start planning your next performance tour. This is Beth with Peak Group Travel and your travel tip of the week. Ready to elevate your travel game? Welcome to Peak Group Travel, the ultimate adventure creators. Whether you're planning an unforgettable class trip, a once-in-a-lifetime parade experience for your marching band, or a choir tour full of memorable performance venues, Peak Group Travel handles it all, so you can focus on making memories. From breathtaking international destinations to amazing adventures right here at home, Peak Group Travel customizes every journey to your vision. We're not just planners, we're your partners for the trip you want for your students. Our online registration portal makes managing your pre-trip experience smooth and convenient. We even collect your payments if you'd like. Picture it, effortless planning, unmatched experiences, and smiles that last long after the journey ends. That's the Peak Group Travel difference. And if you choose to partner with Peak on your next tour, and you mention that you heard about us on the On a Water Break podcast, you'll earn a $100 trip credit. Discover why groups everywhere trust Peak Group Travel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to visit peakgrouptravel.com today. You pick the date, and we'll make it great.
All right, everyone, we are back. We have got bug spray to hand around because these lights are attracting all of the bugs out here on the field. But it is time for our 60-second tech block.
60-second tech block.
60-second tech block! This is the segment where one of our hosts or guest clinicians is put on the spot to deliver a non-stop 60-second tech session on a topic that needs some serious attention after the last run. Our special tech this week has come prepared with 3 topics they think they can talk about for a full 60 seconds straight. No hesitation, no pauses, just pure technical gold. And this week, we haven't been on together yet, so I'm going to throw it over to you, Grantis.
Woo! Thank you so much.
Well, you said your best topics were writing for success, tips for costuming, or motivations for your team. So, let us vote. What do you guys want to hear about?
Writing for success. I definitely want to hear about that. What do you guys think?
I feel like that fits with our theme of designing and shows.
All in favor, say aye.
All right, Grantis, are you prepared with this topic?
Yes, I am.
Emily, can you pull up a 60-second timer on your phone?
You got it, boss.
All right. Let's do this.
All right, Grantis, you are live. Go.
All right. So, when you are designing for your students, you first have to keep in mind where your students are at currently. You have to think about what skills your students possess as a whole team and also individually. You have to write to their skill sets, but leaving room for challenge. You don't want to get something so easy that they get bored with halfway through the season, but you also don't want to do something that is way too far beyond their skill realistically that they could achieve at the end. For color guard, definitely want to have choreography that is within their wheelhouse of technique, developing that technique from a foundational standpoint. And you also want to make sure that you are doing something that really brings out the best in your students. It doesn't have to be something that is like everybody else, but is owned to your strengths as a choreographer and designer, and that you can bring out into your students. And be smart with it. Design smarter, not harder. This is what's really going to propel them later on.
Time.
All right.
That was awesome. I was shaking my head up and down.
Thank you so much.
Agreed.
I've got a really, really good taste of this year because we went from last year, my home team, that I work with here locally, went from like winning everything last year because we had a guard full of seniors. And this year we have 1 vet. So, we had to take that choreography and all the crazy cool stuff we were doing and make the work different this year for those new members. So it's definitely a different situation depending on your students.
Yeah. And it happens like teams go in waves. You'll have a really good graduating class and then they'll all leave and then you got to start from the beginning again. But like I think some people don't realize is that there is vocabulary and range at the lower level. It's just, there's not that much of it. The range might not be as high. But you can still do drop spins on the 45. You can still do drop spins maybe on a prop. You can do drop spins with a broom if you have a witch show, and that shows, the different dynamics. You can be lower on the ground, you can be on your back, you can roll, there's different things you can do, and some people think you have to do the really high level stuff to get all the points, and no. A lot of the points are in the foundational aspects as well.
Well, like any good performer, Liam also came ready with 60 seconds of his own, and I feel like we need some more cymbal education as well. So, Liam, would you be able to school us for 60 seconds on the cymbals here?
Absolutely.
I got you. You ready?
Just a real quick thing. I completely understand and got where Grantis was going with that conversation. Cymbals are often considered the color guard of the drum line, as they add to general effect and they add to the sound of the entire ensemble. So when he was talking about how you change with the different groups that you have, since it's a fresh new ensemble every year, I remember my second year of indoor, we had a lot of seniors and we got bumped up to open class. And our visuals were going through that, and we were teaching all of that stuff to our new members. And then the next year afterwards, we went back down to A class. So it really does ebb and flow. And I think that there were some really good points that were made there. But I am ready for this segment that you so graciously.
Emily, would you do the
now
honors
we're
once
timing?
again?
Sorry, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to time that or.
So I was just
hey, look, it's my first time in 1,000 years.
Yeah, it's my first time ever, so it all makes sense. But just let me know when the new segment can.
Let's go for it.
All right, starting now, 60 seconds.
All right, so a bit of a hot take I have is that visual silence can at times be more important than visual sound. What I mean by this is that while any really good group can be uniform with the visual sound or the motions that they're going throughout a performance, sometimes the stopping and the less cluttering of moments when you have to make adjustments and change your different positions can really show the maturity of a group. And what I would do when I am teaching or when I am helping with a group is I would tell them to be really stiff and rigid during those moments and just go through the different places that they want to hit with their body and just stick at that for a couple of seconds so that when they go into a performance, it's not a matter of, oh no, I'm here, I have to adjust. It's a bodily reaction to go to where they need to be.
And time.
Perfect. That's something I feel like I didn't understand that as a color guard performer until I started spinning weapon. I don't know why specifically, but that's when that clicked for me, when I started to understand that concept.
60-second tech block. 60-second tech block!
It's that yell every time. Ooh.
Oh, gets you, right?
Take off my earphones every time.
That was a solid 60-second tech block, turned 120-second tech block, of course. Hopefully someone out there just got the tech advice they didn't know they needed. But now it is time to switch things up. It's time for everyone's favorite, What Are We Doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
This is the part of the show where we let loose a little bit, or maybe a lot. This is your chance to rant about something in the marching arts that just doesn't make sense. So maybe it's a tradition that needs to go. Maybe it's a habit that performers can't seem to break. Maybe it's something that makes you think, why are we even doing this? Or why haven't we started doing this yet? Whatever it is, this is your moment to call it out. So who's got something that they need to get off their chest?
I got something.
Go for it.
Okay. And this is, I'm being nice about it. This is as a judge, but I judge. But also, what are we doing not going to critique? Some people...
You still have critiques?
Really... They're, what?
Oh, yeah.
I said, you still have critiques?
Jackie said you still have critique. I said, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We still have critiques. And this is for fall. I'm talking about for fall. And also for winter. But
yeah.
Because...
No, we have them for winter.
Oh, yeah. For winter, for sure. But for fall, it sometimes surprises me. I understand if your school needs to, has the bus thing, the bus schedule, the bus driver needs to go back at a certain time or whatever, and, that whole thing. But it's really good for you, because sometimes as a judge, we have questions about your show that we would like to know because we're probably going to see you a second time. And so a lot of the times, the schools that should be going to critique are not there, and they really should stick around to get more information from the judge as well. So there's that cycle of information that needs to happen, and some programs do not get the full benefit of it. And you know what? If you think that your program is fantastic and they're doing nothing wrong, then come to critique anyways, because we will love to praise you as well. So no matter what, go to critique if it's possible.
And isn't that like, I know at least here, there's like usually free food critique. What are you doing? Go
what?
eat.
Yeah.
This is usually like a hospitality thing. Yeah.
Yeah, usually the critique is next to the parents that have food and stuff. So
definitely.
I'm always eating beforehand.
So yeah, we don't have critique at the fall marching festivals. Apparently they used to around here, and they just don't anymore. But I wonder if it's just because people weren't going.
I think another point about critique that is somewhat similar that at least I have a bit of an issue with is, why are some band directors hiding the judge tapes?
What?
I feel like, so at least this is in my experience, some directors feel like what they are getting out of the judge tapes is not something that they want to show to their members. And I feel like even if a judge can be harsh, or a judge could be doing some things that might not be suitable for members, I think that's still important for members to hear it, and not just the band directors.
I think because some of it might be design based, and you don't want to give, kids sometimes take things and run with it, and you don't want them to be like, did you hear what they said? That part wasn't like designed well, and you just, I don't know. I'll take the other hand, Liam, and I'll say I'm cautious about it as well.
Yeah, and also that makes sense that some directors might be a little bit, withdrawn from it. But I do believe that directors should not have a total no on all judge tapes. Like, out of the 5 judges, maybe they may give the students one judge tape to listen to, not all of them. And then my program that I used to teach for, we give them all the judge tapes by the end of the season, every competition. But it is good to hear at least one. I think it was,
agreed.
There's a reason why, and there's a reason why not.
Especially in winter, when you have the downstairs captions are usually good for the kids to hear.
For sure. Trish, do you want to tell us what are we doing?
I think my what are we doing is kind of like a what is everybody doing? I'm so intrigued to see, how this. I'm not trying to rush to get to winter, because I actually am enjoying this marching band season, believe it or not. But I'm like, what are you all doing? Like, is there going to be an Avon World this year? Why are the Pacific Airs not coming out again? Who's the big world team out in the Midwest without Pride? I mean, we still have Onyx, but it seems like people are gravitating towards Elevate, and who's the new one that just medaled in who's the new one that just medaled in Open, and they just went up, and like Michael Townsend's there, and I'm trying to think of their name. They're all going to kill me now. But, what's going on with that? Is that going to be he's going to still have Onyx out there? What's up with Juxta? There's so many questions going into the season. So instead of what are we doing? What are you all doing? What's going on? I can't wait to hear about it.
Make some announcements, everybody. Emily, what about you? What are we doing?
I don't know. I've been so removed from the band world for a hot minute. I don't have a what are we doing.
What are we doing being so removed from the band world? Come back.
I'm like, but it's like, I'm also in graduate school too, so that explains some of my absence from the band world.
No, that's good. We all need a band break. I'm kind of on a band break myself. I'm just choreographing and then judging and then doing the podcast. Never mind, I'm still in it.
Oh, and
doing a lot.
I just looked it up. It's Phoenix Independent. I just looked it up.
Oh, I did hear about them recently. I need to jump in because of this past weekend. I saw this so much, and not just where I physically was, but I saw it on social media a lot. What are we doing? Designing shows and ignoring the color wheel completely. I am seeing these colors just thrown in a giant pile on these flags and on these costumes. And I think we were talking about the digital printed costuming earlier. I think that has something to do with it. It's like, oh, now we can suddenly add all of the colors and it costs the same amount as adding one color. So let's just throw every color in there. And no, just stop. Like, think about it. When you're doing your flags, think about how they're going to actually look when that picture gets blurred together as it's moving through the air and spinning. Think about how your guard is going to look if they're wearing the exact same colors as the rest of the band, because they're going to get lost. You're not going to see them as much,
Oh, no.
And if the show calls for it, cool. But really, you have to think about what your show needs in order to decide on what colors you want. So that's my what are we doing? Liam, what do you got?
So this has been, I mentioned it briefly earlier, but what are we doing cutting sections because of lack of interest? This is more of a Cymbal thing than anything, but I have seen a trend, at least as of lately. Cymbal lines are being cut because not as many people are showing up to the audition, or they would have 3 people show up to the audition and they would want to field 4. And usually the lines that are being cut, it's because the sound is not right for them, or they feel that it's unnecessary to have a Cymbal line, which I could go on a 40-minute rant about why Cymbal lines are worthy in this space. But I've been seeing more and more where groups are cutting some lines when they could easily field one. And I think that if you have, this is my take on fielding some lines, if you have enough members to field a Cymbal line and to fill out a percussion section, adds to the show more than would have just doing the stuff in the front ensemble.
Oh, for sure.
That's why are we doing?
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
All right, we got that off our chest. Let's get into our Gush and Goes. This is your chance to shout out something awesome happening in your life. It can be marching arts related or not. Maybe you're excited about a performance, a student success, a big life event, just something cool that you want to brag about. We are all about no negativity here, just pure unfiltered hype. So, who's got something to gush about?
Hey, who has the stickers for the Gush and Go made by yours truly?
Oh, yay!
They are stunning. They are stunning.
I want that for my water jug.
Sometimes.
Emily, I love all of your
I
art.
love that.
Emily, I think that's your gushing.
Yeah, I made the Gush and Go stickers.
See that?
Love it. They look so cute.
They are cute.
Less is more, people, for keeping this on the design topic. Jeremy and I went back and forth on that for a hot minute, and he literally was just like, Emily, just less is more. And I'm like, yes, understood.
Love it.
I have a Gush and Go. I am really happy that I am taking a little bit of a break, not fully teaching, but I still miss marching band. So, of course, I agreed to choreograph for some groups. But for me, I have my own business, Grantissimo Productions, where I do marching band, marching arts, winterguard, whatever visual consulting and choreography. So if any group wants to book me for winter, go ahead and contact me, grantissimoproductions.com, or you can email me, grantissimo productions@gmail.com or at gmail, yeah.
I love that. That's awesome.
Trish, do you want to gush and go next?
Sure. So Saturday was our first show. I had 2 teams there. My main group, which is Northern Valley Old Japan. I'm not one of these people ever. I've been on this podcast how long? I don't think you've ever heard me say, oh my God, I love this show. I really love this show that we're doing this year. It's called Blackbird. And Blackbird by the Beatles is the underlying,
love that song
it's
so much.
interwoven into the whole show. We have a string ensemble sitting inside a bird cage and all that. And it's just that when the strings come in, the whole pre-show is Blackbird. And when the strings come in, I lose it every time. I really love this show. We did really well. It was our home show, so we didn't compete, but really not, we did really well. Nice run, very well received. And my other team, my little 1A band that I help on Thursday nights, North Rockland, they won their class. So that was really, really cool. So it was a fun weekend of marching band for sure, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Woohoo. Liam, what would you like to gush and go on about today?
So I have been practicing to do world class for several years. I was a bit stuck in my high school for a moment, and then I was stuck with financial difficulties. But for the first time, this upcoming Sunday, I'm going to my first world class audition for Cap City. And I'm really
excited. Woo! Have a good time.
That's awesome. Where are you auditioning?
I'm auditioning at Cap City for a WGI.
Yes, awesome.
Hopefully for the world class ensemble. They have an open class ensemble too, so I might be on that. I might be with the world group, but I'm looking forward to.
You have to keep coming back on and keep us posted.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Liam, can you let us know what your socials are or any videos from your Cymbal stuff if we want to take a look?
My TikTok handle is Bucket Dip, which out of context makes no sense. But Bucket Dip is one of the... If you're a Cymbal line player, you'll know what Bucket Dip is. It is one of the first visuals that you learn when you're learning how to do cymbals outside the strap. And then my Instagram is liam.r.reynolds. And that is no uppercase. But yeah, if I had a cymbal with me right now, I'd pull it up, Bucket Dip, and show some of the rudiments behind it. But those are my socials.
I found you.
Yeah, I just added you. Liam.r.reynolds. Woohoo!
Okay, I need to gush and go because I just got back into judging. Like I said, I've been off for a couple years, having babies and all that. It's been a wild ride trying to figure all this back out again because I felt like, COVID messed everything up, and then I had a kid and that messed everything up, and then I kind of started getting back into the swing of it a little bit, and then I had another kid, and I keep having these babies in the fall, so it's like right smack in the middle of the season, and now I'm finally getting back to it though, and love getting to watch color guard all day and help people, and whenever I make my tapes, I tend to talk to the guard because half the time they don't have an instructor at their school with them. They just have their band director or assistant band director or something, and they have a choreographer who comes in for the summer or whatever. And so I tend to talk to the tapes like I'm talking to the guard, like maybe the captain or something themselves. So I love it. I love to do it. I love to help as much as I can and help everybody keep getting better at color guard. So that is my gush. I am in my element. And then I get to take my kids with me to these contests and they get to see the marching band. So they're happy too.
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Thanks for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you everyone who spent time with us today. Grantis, Emily, Trish, and Liam, where can we find you? Can you shout out those socials one more time?
You can find me on TikTok at Bucket Dip, and you can find me on Instagram at liam.r.reynolds.
Perfect. If you got a question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on our social media. Shoot us a DM if you want to be on the show. We also have a form you can fill out if you want to be a guest. So we love having people on the podcast. Check that out at our link in bio on our social media, or hey, take out your phone, make a video of yourself, send it to us. Maybe we'll throw that in the podcast. One more thing, don't forget we have a YouTube channel now, so go subscribe so you can see all of us there. Also, before you close out your podcast listening app, go subscribe, write us a review, share this episode with a friend, follow us on all of our social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reed. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.